Joining me is our Laker insider, Mike Bresnan, and from the LA Times, Brad Turner. Allie Clifton will also be here to join the show as well. Hi, BT.
Guido, how are you doing, man?
I am doing great.
So am I. I mean, it's a great time to be alive.
It is. Playoff baseball, NFL.
That? Only thing
and
is,
the start of the NBA season.
You and I went to the Dodger game.
We did.
And they lost.
They did.
Is it me or you?
Combo.
Combo. Well, at least you and I are enjoying LA sports.
Yes.
We're having a good time.
It was cold and windy and a weird night, but the Dodgers did bounce back, which was great.
I'm happy they did.
Yeah. Are you even going to look at your buddy Brez over there at all?
Kind of got his back turned to me.
He's going to ignore him for the whole show.
Francois?
I feel like cold wind coming this direction.
Of course not, Francois.
There are all kinds of nicknames. Brez, Francois, Connor.
The last time I was here, we talked about Paris, and I have to say I met about 1,000 people named Francois.
There you go. I'm everywhere.
None of them named Michel Francois.
Little rumor, you two, all over. Our friend, our colleague. Big Shot Bob after Alabama lost.
Yeah,
is that true?
We kind of beat him up in the group text. He would have talked to me for about 3 days afterwards. But we're better now. We're better.
Guess what starts next week?
What starts?
The NBA.
Oh, no.
The Lakers' Big Three made their preseason debut on Tuesday night against the Warriors. As we look at their final numbers, Russell Westbrook putting up his best stat line of the preseason, finishing with 10 points, 10 boards, and 6 assists. LeBron James finished with 17 points, and Anthony Davis led the way, scoring 20 points on 7 for 12 shooting from the field. Now, for more, here's AD with his thoughts on playing alongside LeBron and Westbrook for the first time this preseason.
Yeah, we saw some great things. With me, Bron, and Russ in actions, there's endless possibilities of things that we can run and we can do, especially with shooters on the backside with Mel and Bays and all our shooters. Still adjustment. We've done it a lot in practice, but first time playing together on the floor tonight. And even though there was good things, a lot of things that we can do better. Still can work on our defensive schemes as a unit. Even though we have the same schemes, new players in it. And the way they play defense, we're trying to adjust as a team. But it looked good, and we get another shot at it again on Thursday.
It's going to take a minute for us to become the team that we know we're going to be capable of being. It's all about, just working the process, being patient with the process, understanding that we're going to have frustrating moments. We're going to have moments where we're quite right there. We may take a step backwards, but, that's all part of, I think nothing is worth having if it's not worth working for. And I think we're gonna hit some moments where we feel like we're right there, but we're not quite there yet. And that's anytime you have a new team and a whole new core of guys, it just takes a little minute. So understanding that and always repeating that to the guys, and the best thing about us, we have this open communication that we able to, okay, let's figure it out right there on the fly, okay? How can we be better the next time? And our film sessions are going to be very key. Our shoot-around is going to be very key. And then our preseason games, what we're doing, but whatever. And even in the regular season, to start the season, there's going to be opportunities for us to learn on the fly. So just get better with that every game.
I know that's the question everybody keep asking. Nobody has a real answer for that. We just going to play just like every other team, and then we're going to figure it out. We don't need to figure it out. October 18, 19, whenever the first game is, we got one goal in mind, that's to win the championship. So throughout the season, there are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, there are going to be adversity. As long as we're together and on the same page, that's all that matters.
Check out my.
That is all that matters, according to Russ. We finally got to see them all on the court together. BT, what was your takeaway from what you saw?
I'm still unfulfilled about this team. Don't quite know what to expect. I think they would do really good things, maybe even great things. But until they get fully healthy, and until we get the Big Three playing their best basketball, I'm just not quite sure what they will be like in the beginning. Now, the schedule is not difficult for them, so that'll help them get things together faster. But they just have to find a good groove. They have to find some consistency, and they have to play better defense.
BT, you hit on some really good points there. I'd like to see a little fewer turnovers. I feel like that's really getting away from them, just kind of maintaining possession of the ball. There's still some overpassing for sure,
right.
But I'm not panicking, guys. There's just so much time left before the start of the season. That's great. and then a pretty easy schedule. So the first 10 games are not going to kill anybody. So I'm not panicking yet, but definitely a little bit better cohesion. And hey, maybe we'll see it, Geet, in the 6th and final preseason game.
So Frank did say they are going to play good minutes in Sacramento. You surprised?
No, I'm not. They probably a few weeks ago thought that they could punt this game, you know, but because there was a little. There's still some stuff to be ironed out. Frank probably said, all right, let's play a little bit, guys. Probably play 25 minutes again, all 3 of them each, maybe even 30. We'll have to see. So I'm not that surprised, you know, if they were clobbering people in 5-0 instead of 0-5 and some chemistry.
So you think that matters, the record? Or is it more about the time on the court together?
The time on the court together. Yeah. I mean, it's not beautiful to be 0-5, obviously. Yeah. No one will remember that in 2 weeks. But yeah, I think it's a combination of really just getting these guys more time on the court.
They just haven't had enough minutes, right?
100%, yeah.
The big thing was the hint LeBron gave last night when the game was over.
Yeah.
He mentioned that practice. Talk about practice, Mike.
Practice.
That they were going to practice today, Wednesday.
Yeah.
We all thought they would take that day off.
Sure.
Which means if you practice seriously to make up for some of the mistakes you've been taking place, and then what happens the next day? You play the game.
Yeah.
So you take from practice what you've done, the corrections you made, and now you play the game. So it makes sense that they would play this last game against the Kings.
Yeah, Brez, I think you're right. I mean, if they had played more minutes together and it looked good, this game, no one would be playing in it, but they just haven't had those kind of minutes. Even Russ said last night on the post-game show, there is no timetable. There's no set like, oh, November 1st, things click. He said it'll happen, but it does take some time. I think we got spoiled by AD and LeBron and it clicking so quickly. Do you see this happening sooner or later with these 3?
I think
this
sooner.
team?
Yeah, I think sooner, and I really do like, again, the first 10 games. Okay, you get Houston twice, you get OKC twice, you get 2 other programs that are in the midst of rebuilding, 1 game against Cleveland, 1 against San Antonio. Guys, the first 3 weeks of the schedule, the regular season schedule, not exactly, you know, Milwaukee and Brooklyn on a back-to-back, or Denver and Utah on a back-to-back on the road. So I really think they're going to have time. You know, I think that it's a very, not only is the schedule kind of easy to begin with, but a lot of home games, tons of home games. So I think everything will be settled in a month. And nobody will be talking about, what about that 5th preseason game where everyone had a lot of turnovers?
Clicking sooner or later?
Guido, I can't believe this. Mike Bresnahan is right.
He's made some good
right
points
a lot,
already
BT.
today.
He has.
He
made some okay points so far. Let's not go with the good thing right fast, okay?
Yeah.
No, he's made some great points so far.
God, you've never complimented me before.
And you're great, Mike
Appreciate
Bresnahan. You're the best I've ever seen. Talking about Lakers basketball.
Yeah,
because the
what do you got?
schedule helps them to
Yeah.
make mistakes, get better while they're doing that, and watch more film about what they're doing, how they can get better. So I expect them to start off pretty fast, actually.
Brez and I were looking at those 10 games today. It's hard to look past the first 2 because Warriors Suns back-to-back, that's going to be pretty amazing and fun, and who knows where that goes. But then after that, the Lakers do have a lot of games where on paper they should be okay. All right. From the Big 3 to a couple of Lakers that may not be ready for opening night. Injuries already piling up for the Lake Show. Arisa's going to be out 8 weeks, get reevaluated. Ellington's going to be reevaluated with a hamstring. Taylor Horton-Tucker's going to miss time, out 4 weeks. Malik Monk, the groin. Kendrick Nunn, the ankle. As for Frank Vogel, he is optimistic about his team getting healthier as opening night approaches.
Well, we'll see. We're hopeful that K-Nunn and Malik will be back, but we'll see. We'll have to see how they progress over the next 6 days. You know, Wayne actually, his MRI revealed a strain in his hamstring as well, grade 1. Still in the, you know, reevaluated in a week time frame. He's still possible to dress open night, but he could potentially not be in there. But we'll have to see how all 3 of those guys progress over the next week.
Saw Malik out in practice doing some stuff with Phil and DeAndre. How much is he participating right now?
Well, we didn't do anything but walk through stuff today, so he's just getting some movement on it with some post-practice shooting.
Malik Monk has been impressive. Hopeful he is there for the opener. Same with Kendrick Nunn and the ankle. I'm just going to assume that they're going to be good by opening night. I've already wrapped my head around THT not being there for the first 4 weeks, Arisa being out for the first couple of months. But I'm going to bet on Monk and Kendrick Nunn both being available. Do you expect them both to be impactful for this Laker team? Both guys, because the way they've played in the preseason, the answer would be yes. What do you think when it comes time to the real thing?
I'm going to say Malik Monk more so than
Really?
Kendrick. Yeah, because
Would you have said that a month ago?
I would have.
Yeah.
Because he can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And he's shown that. And because he's a threat from the outside, his nickname is the microwave. That means a lot. Bethlehem has no clue who the original microwave is. Thank you. And because he can shoot the ball so well, that opens a lot of avenues for the other Lakers. So he's my guy.
BT Alley actually gave him the nickname Air Fryer because she thought it was too close to, we already have a microwave. So I kind of liked it. Maybe he'll use it. My answer here is I think none is probably the more important piece. Why BT? I think he's the best perimeter defender. I think he does a little bit of everything, not just a shooter. I would say that Monk is a better three-point shooter, but Nunn can attack the basket, play some defense, run the offense a little bit. So I think he's a little bit more versatile than Monk, I would say.
Okay. That would be true. Now, because I go to games.
Yeah.
And last night I went to the game to see the Lakers play. Unlike Francois, I happened to walk into Trevor Ariza. And he was really sad. He was on his crutches. He just kept saying, I can't play, BT. I'm on crutches. What am I going to do? And my response was, get healthy, heal up, be supportive, and you'll be fine.
But do you think he ends up playing a role on this team, or will it be too much lost time? Remember, for a guy their age, a lot of these guys, 36, 37, 35, been in the league a long time, got to be in shape. Not that Trevor Ariza won't be, but if he's on crutches, it's going to take some stuff. It's going to take some time for him to come back, right?
It'll take some time, but remember, he didn't start playing basketball last season until, January, February?
Yeah.
He was put on the shelf. This is similar. It's just that he's injured.
Yeah.
But he's also someone that is always prepared. He's smart. He's won a title with the Lakers.
He was going to have a big role, right?
He was. He may have even started if the Lakers decided to play small basketball with AD at center.
Brez Ellington has the hamstring issue, so not a good start for him. He's going to be reevaluated later. You and many others, we've all kind of gone back and forth, at times had him tabbed as that starting two with that group. Has that changed from what you've seen in the preseason?
Yeah, I think so. When you look at a guy like Kent Bazemore, he's really good on defense, and he can do some stuff on offense, too. I think Frank is looking for perimeter defense. You've got the defense down low, got the shot blockers and AD, and DeAndre and Dwight, too. You got rebounders as well. It's going to come down to perimeter defense for this team. And I think Wayne Ellington just doesn't offer as much there as a guy like Bays does. So I think Wayne, not only is he injured, might not play next Tuesday. Frank would say neither yay or no. He doesn't know if Wayne will be available for the opener. So I think Bays, we could almost, not just pencil him in. Take that pen out and put Bays in as a starter at the two. Feel pretty good about it.
You?
Take the pen out.
Pen is out.
No, I think if Wayne is healthy, he starts the season as the starting two guard. Again, because you need some shooting for a lot of guys that penetrate. Like Russ goes to the basket. AD is best mid-range going to the basket. LeBron is at his best going to the basket. But if Wayne can't play, they have a really good person in his place in Kent Bazemore, who is a better all-around player. As
so are you thinking DJ then goes to the 5, or are you saying AD at the 5, Bays and Ellington?
I am really thinking that DJ will be the starting center.
Yeah.
And
you would go Ellington over Bays right now with what you've seen.
If they were both healthy, yes, I would do that. Because you need a shooter to stretch the floor, to give the defense something to think about.
He hasn't shot the ball great.
He has not. Yeah. But he's a threat.
I would argue that you need more perimeter defense than you need a shooter.
Well, yin-yang.
Yeah.
Yang-yin. Either one.
I haven't heard of that.
We agree to disagree.
Yes, we do.
We do it in a nice...
With you, I agree. With Francis...
It's just a lot of respect going back.
Yes.
You and Brez need to talk during the commercial. After the break, Laker legend Robert Horry checks in his thoughts on the Big Three's preseason debut and why he's not worried about Westbrook's turnovers. But first, Rondo to AD. Stick it. In goal. Just one game remains in the preseason, and that's on Thursday versus the Sacramento Kings. After that, the regular season begins on Tuesday night. The Lakers will play host to the Golden State Warriors. That's followed up by matchups with the Phoenix Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio, and OKC. Now for more, let's check in with Brez and 7-time champion Robert Horry.
Rob, finally, everybody got to see the Big Three play in one game. It was only preseason, but definitely some things to remember. Got to start with Russ, right? What were your impressions of him alongside LeBron and AD?
I look at some of his turnovers he had in this game. He had some turnovers in the previous game where he was trying too much. These turnovers were just, things that would happen in the midst of a game, like a charge, a bad pass because it got tipped and things of that nature. But I looked at him, and he played a lot calmer. It's like he felt like he had to do a lot. When you play with some guys that are experienced as LeBron, AD, you don't have to do much. You can just sit back and relax and just take what's given to you.
Then you got to talk about LeBron. I mean, that guy looks like it's already mid-March. I mean, he is ready to go. Some nice fadeaways, some nice movement around the basket. You've got to be pretty pleased with what you see with him so far.
Yeah, downhill LeBron. Once he's going downhill, he's going to get to that cup. He's going to do his spin move. And what I was impressed by, he was using that left hand pretty regularly going to the rack. But I also like to see his step back three. He got that little patty, like shaky, and pull back three. But he looked good. He was passing the ball a lot to the new guy, Reeves, and he was just making things happen. He also looked like he wasn't trying to do too much. He was just letting the game come to him.
Got to talk about that new guy, Reeves. Like you just said, Austin Reeves, undrafted out of Oklahoma. He had transferred there from Wichita State. No one ever really heard about him, at least Laker fans. But now I have a feeling you're going to hear quite a bit about him throughout the season. Can he be a rotation player for this team?
You know what? It's so weird because if you look back, Nunn has played well. Monk has played well. THT has played well. Bazemore played well in this game. So, it's a lot of guys with a lot more experience in front of him. But I think if he's able to be consistent on his defense and knocking down three, there's going to be a lot of games where I know Vogel's like, you know what, go in there and play. We're going to rest these guys. Because Vogel loves to manage minutes during the beginning of the year. So he can give you some significant minutes. I think he can do he can be a key role for the Lakers.
Yeah, and keep in mind, so many guys out. THT, he's going to be out for a while. Noah Reza for a while. Malik Monk, we'll see if he's ready on opening night next week. So maybe a guy like Kent Bazemore, has he done enough to show you that he will be indeed a starter next Tuesday when the Lakers open things up?
You asked me this 2 games ago. I was like, he's a little behind Malik Monk.
He needs a little more.
But then Malik Monk gets hurt, and then Bazemore, we get to see more minutes. Like, hold on now. Who do you want to use? And that's a good problem to have. And I think Bazemore is a little bit better defender than Malik Monk. So if I had to pick someone, I would probably go with Bazemore just for the defensive purposes because you can always use that firepower and that extra versatility when Monk comes off the bench.
We got 2 of the big 3 taken care of. We got to talk AD. I thought he looked real comfortable around the basket. Like, a lot of alley-oop dunks, some fast break dunks. I mean, he looked really good in that restricted area. Hit a 19-footer as well. Still working on that 3-point shot through 5 preseason games, Rob. Where's AD right now?
AD, get in the gym and work on your 3-point. You shot 2 air balls, and that's a no-no. You should never shoot an air ball from the top of the key. I let it slide from the corner, but at the top of the key, that's a no-no. But, AD is working on his game. I love the fact that he's been working on his mid-range game. His shake game in the post is dreamlike. And there's a lot of things that he's doing well. And for me to see that all the alley-oops that he is catching right now lets me know that he's in shape. He prepared his body for the long haul. And that's what you want to see out of this guy because, we've always said, okay, can this guy be durable enough to make it through the year? But right now, his body looks good. He's going out playing with a reckless abandon. And that's good for him because that's the only way you can get through a season without getting hurt if you go out and play hard.
Speaking of a guy who always looks good, Robert Horry. Back to you guys.
Indeed, he does. Michael, access rolls on after the break with just 1 game remaining in the preseason. What have we learned about the Lakers so far? We'll dive into some top takeaways from the purple and gold coming up next. Plus, Austin Reeves is making a name for himself with his play in the preseason. After the break, we'll hear some high praise from LeBron. He's averaging 17 minutes, 10.5 points, shooting 37% from 3. He's also grabbing those rebounds and letting you know about it in the preseason. And during his off-day media session, Melo spoke about how it felt to be in the starting lineup alongside the big 3 in the Lakers' most recent preseason game.
It felt good. It felt good to kind of just be out there and just, starting to see what possibilities can be and see how we gel together. I thought we had some great moments when all 4 of us was on the court together. We had spurts where, we was very in tune, we was locked in. We don't expect it to happen overnight, but I thought yesterday was one of those moments that, okay, we see that, it looks good, it felt good, and we build off of that. You got to just be willing to adapt. I think, by the time game 1 is here, we would know. Like, I would know. Everybody would know kind of what their situation is, what their role is. But right now we just playing. I mean, I don't know if this. I don't know. You know, I know what I have to do.
Sure.
You know, I know whether I'm starting or coming up I know what I have to do.
All right, we're going top takeaways from the preseason. 5 games in. Brez, what's your number one? I think I like it.
AD. You know, a lot of people have been watching Russ. I've been watching Anthony Davis throughout the entire preseason. When he plays, I like what I see. I feel like he's looking strong out there, taking some hard fouls, crashing to the ground, getting back up, showing us some nice fadeaway action, running the break just like that for some nice alley-oop action. I think he really is back, guys, and he's on a mission. His defense has been really, really strong, whether it's steals, blocks, just annoying guys with the ball on the other team. And his mission, by the way, is, look, I missed half of last season. I am going to show you that I will not let that happen again. I'm going to play a lot, try not to get injured, and I think we'll be very pleased by what he does for the Lakers this season.
He is a two-way star in this league.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Brez?
Man, these guys throw the ball away too much.
That's your number one?
They throw the ball away.
That's your top takeaway, isn't it?
Too doggone much.
Yeah.
And that's not what I really want to say. And they're averaging like 20 turnovers a game.
You didn't even want to comment about AD. You went straight into turnovers.
Think about this. LeBron had a really good game last night.
Yeah.
He turned the ball over 6 times. Russ had 5 turnovers on top of the 9 he had the previous game.
He had that one bad quarter, too, the first preseason game. He's gotten a little better
I
since
think,
then.
as Rob said, he needs to slow down a little bit more because his speed gets him in position and cracks, and there's no one there to really pass the ball to.
Yeah.
He gets
caught.
He gets caught in the air.
Yeah.
In different positions that he does not want to be in.
Brez, hey, remember what he also told you, though, BT? Bring that same kind of energy after he goes for 20 assists in a game. He was talking to you, BT. Wasn't talking to me and Brett.
And I'll be going like, Russ with the assist. But right now, Russ with the turnover.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's preseason.
Brez, number 2?
Yeah, you know, BT found something to kind of look down upon the Lakers. I'm going to find something that's also negative in my book. It's not like they can really help it, but the injuries are stacking up. It's a concern, thank you.
Yeah.
No THT till December, possibly. No Ariza till December. These are not good things for a team with 10 new players, guys. I mean, you really got to get as much chemistry and cohesion as you can. And already we're having big injuries like those two and smaller nagging ones like Kendrick Nunn right there with the ankle. Malik Monk, he was shooting great, and then he hurt himself. And also Frank saying today, we're not sure if Wayne Ellington will be ready for the opener. So injuries, definitely stacking up. It's a concern.
So Brez went with a positive and then a concern. I feel you're going 2 negatives. I feel like you are going to go. I think you got another one coming.
Well, they haven't won a game.
Okay.
Let's just start there.
Okay.
And they're not a very good shooting team right now. I mean, it's bad.
I have inconsistent shooting team is what BT wants to talk about.
That's what they are. I mean, they've shot, what, over 46% one time in the preseason, 36% from 3 one time. That's just not going to get it done. I think it'll get better. It will improve, but they're an inconsistent shooting team, and teams would just pack the paint on them and dare them to shoot the basketball. I would.
Mid-season form, BT. Remember free throws?
Yes. They're free.
Free throws. I like that you're a little
what did Rob
edgy
say?
with
AD
this.
shot an air ball 3-point from the top. That can't be happening.
Okay.
If you're going to shoot a 3 and not make it, get your butt down low and score down there, AD. Let's make some shots, Lakers. Let's not be like Mike Francis Bresnahan and strike out playing kickball.
You're right there.
It's a
BT, I'll
jump
have you
shot.
know, we were back-to-back champions in Manhattan Beach. Not a lot of striking out on the kickball team.
Dorsey Field.
Dorsey Field.
We're bringing in my friend Allie right now. She was giving you a look. It would be a classic meme like, please, BT. That's what it looked like. I don't know if that's what
Can
you're
we
thinking.
please call a spade a spade? You are ruthless right now.
Ruthless.
We thought your good buddy, Rob, was a little much.
Yeah.
Who says Rob's my buddy?
Case in point, my word.
I mean,
What
he
you
is,
talking
by the
about?
way, he is mid-season,
You need
a little
time
edgy.
out.
What are we talking
He's
about
taking
here?
the preseason very seriously.
Well, here's my
He said,
problem.
let's start with the win-loss column.
They're 0-4 right now.
0-5.
I was like,
0-4.
But guess what?
Haven't won a game.
Guess what?
Michael Francis Bresnahan. That
Yes.
means what? That's
Thank
what
you, Broderick Allen.
Guess what?
Yes, ma'am.
Games don't count.
Yeah, BT. Talk to
Hey.
us again in the
give him
month.
that look, Allie.
Thanks, Christopher. This season, referees are cracking down, in case you guys didn't know, on foul hunting moves across the NBA. with a main point being that they don't want officials to be manipulated. Also adding that players could be called for offensive fouls if they use overt, abrupt, or abnormal motions to create contact. So for more, a friend of our show, Dan Woike, had a great exchange with Russell Westbrook about the new rule.
Russ, I think it was in the first half, there was a pump fake three where the defender got in there and you kind of adjusted to, I mean, it's 3 free throws the last 3 seasons. It's not going to be this year. How big of an adjustment is that going to be with such a weapon for so many people?
Not for me. Ain't too many people flying at me, so I'll be all right.
Got one today.
I know, I'm surprised. So not much adjustment for me. But guys that actually use it all the time, it's definitely probably going to be an adjustment for them.
Can you keep the same energy, please, BT? Wasn't that a great moment for Russell Westbrook?
It was. Russ has been great all
There's the positivity.
I mean, he has been phenomenal to talk to. He's been funny. After the game where he had the 9 turnovers, he looks down and says, well, ain't nobody going to do about it. But then at the end, he stands up, he goes, I had 9 turnovers? Oof, I had 9 turnovers. And he walked out amazed at seeing the stat sheet that said he had 9 turnovers, but he did say they're all correctable.
Yeah, they really are.
See? Gosh.
I got faith.
You came full circle in one
Alex,
segment.
I'm
Congratulations.
sorry. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings, Allison.
Say it louder. We're back
That's
with
fine.
more Access after the break.
Sure your
but
feelings
first,
aren't
it's our throwback Mamba moment of the day. See you Thursday, Sacramento.
Let's see what they do. It'll be Pau Gasol trying to find Kobe. And Kobe will get it for the win. Got it! Get it! He is hard to believe. No, he's not. Amazing again at the buzzer. Well, that is close.
Be an NBA player and play at this level. His size, his shot-making ability, his pick-and-roll play, his passing. High IQ kid, and he got a lot of dog in him too. So that translates to our game.
And Austin playing unbelievable. It's tough. Plays the right way. He try to do the right things. He's a rookie. He's still learning too. But he wants to learn. He always asking questions. And he got hard. He's fearless. He go out there. He. Almost every practice we scrimmage or doing something live, he's on the floor getting hit in the face or something,
This is the second time we've heard about him getting hit in the face. Is it really that bad?
No, it is. Like to the point where LB said he got to wear a helmet in practice. So I mean, he works hard, and I told him today during the game, with his defense on Valencia, he got to stop, and I told him when he came back down, I said, man, playing like that earn you minutes. He has a real chance to play on our team, especially if we got guys out. So, he just keep doing what he's doing, and he'll find his way on the floor.
So as we know, guys, injuries are a part of the season, but with that come opportunity. And Austin Reeves has certainly, just listen to the sound, taken advantage of those opportunities. What has impressed you so far, BT? Start with you.
As they say, his toughness.
Yeah.
That he can knock down shots, and he's always asking questions. He wants to learn, and he plays hard. You have to love that. I like the idea that he's like Mike Bressingham. He needs a helmet on his head.
Francis, you mean?
Like Francis. When Francis plays kickball, he has to wear a batting helmet.
I actually retired from kickball.
Actually, he has an NFL helmet without the face mask. And I love Austin knows Bressingham, so he knows Francis that well already. Thank you, Austin.
BT, I haven't worn a helmet since high school football, but I appreciate the compliment. I will definitely try to go hard in this segment here and give it my all. Here's what I like about Austin. Seems like he's always in the right place at the right time. Obviously, you talked about his three-point touch, 43%. That's amazing if he can keep that up. But I like the little things he does. There was a little turnover the other day. He left his man quickly. Fast break, boom, the other way. Easy 2 for the Lakers. So I just think he's got a nose for these big plays. He's just one of those guys. He's not going to jump off the charts athletically or really, kill you in like a shuttle time or anything like that. But he just knows the game of basketball. Very technically sound.
Let me ask you this. According to our Conversation on the Lake Show podcast, and Twitter, Geeter has said that he is drawing some comparisons to that of Joe Ingles. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, as we know, Austin very young, Joe obviously the opposite of that. But do you see that, BT?
I saw an early Joe Ingles with the Clippers, and they admitted they made a mistake by letting him go. There's something there, but Joe has played for the national team in Australia, so he had that experience. But this young man he has some skills. He has some toughness. And if you can get beat upside the head every day in practice and come back and play, unlike our guy Francis here, then that says something about your toughness.
Who wears a helmet for kickball?
A kickball even, yes.
Yeah, you know, Joe Ingles, I appreciate the comparison. He's a really good passer. So I want to see more passing from Reeves if he really wants to be the next Joe Ingles, which is a very good goal. There's nothing wrong with being, Joe he's had a great run with the Utah Jazz, very good part-time starter, sixth man, seventh man, whatever they need, Joe Ingles delivers. And I think Austin Reeves has a little bit of that in him. I do like that already from Austin. Anytime you're canning more than 40% from deep, you're doing something right. And that shows that the work he's put in the gym over the years to get to this level. Again, this guy was undrafted just a few short months ago. No one took him out of the 60 picks in the first 2 rounds. So the fact he's already making an impact on an NBA team this quickly, good for him.
He's been fun to watch.
Yeah, he has.
Not afraid to get after it, plays the game the right way. He's been fun. From him to another young guy in THT, we've been talking about it a lot, BT. I want to get your thoughts. Obviously, we say it on the show a lot. It's a tough blow for THT here, dealing with that injury early.
It's a big blow because we saw some strides during the preseason games he was playing in, and he still had steps to take because he's so young, so athletic, so gifted. To have a chance to play basketball, to be in that top 7 rotation with the Lakers meant a lot. So now he's going to be out for, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So now all of a sudden he doesn't get to play as much. He loses his rhythm. He loses that conditioning. And all those things that he learned by playing sort of just slows down now. And so now, even for him, the Lakers miss one of their key ingredients. Who fills in for him and what he does for this team?
It's very disappointing because I really thought he could be the number 4 player on the team. I mean, you have to give, some definite deferral to Carmelo if he wanted to be that guy, or maybe one of the other veterans on the team. But THT was really kind of, trending upwards. Needed to see more shooting from him. But everything else, he was really aggressive on the court, like his defense. So it's really disappointing, just as someone who casually watches the team, not that we're on the team, but I like watching him play. So it's disappointing that he won't be able to be around until possibly December. And so for that, I feel kind of bad for the kid, for sure.
Let me ask you, though a lot of expectations, as we know, that have been placed on THT, he's still young. He still has a lot to learn, and he's a willing learner. That's what we've learned about him, to say that word again, here early on in his career. Can this time be helpful for him, BT, in terms of just being on the sidelines, observing, taking it all in, and so when he does return, being able to hit his stride a little bit differently, if you will?
And I would say yes, because he is willing to listen. He's asking questions. He's a quiet kid, so he doesn't say a whole lot, Mike. But when he does, he has something to say that's real important, that's important, and he's trying to figure out how do you do certain things. And with Raja Rondo there, to show him during the games,
good point.
Look what's going on here. With him being in film sessions, even he'll start seeing things that he didn't see the previous year that he can tell us some of the other young players. So it's an important time that he also just learns about the game mentally.
Like Austin Reeves, kind of an afterthought on draft day. Anytime you're not in the first round or even the first 40 picks, it's kind of like, okay, good luck. But he really made something of himself. He got a nice 3-year contract from the Lakers, kind of extending his 2-year run with the franchise. And he earned it. I thought he was really tough down the stretch last season. He had a nice game against Houston. I believe it was 23 points. Good in the playoffs. Like when I think of the Lakers in their last game against Phoenix in the first round, this was one of the guys who was still pushing the pace, still fighting, still trying to claw back into it, even though the Lakers were obviously undermanned without AD. Love the dunks. Love just the fire he showed in just a few short preseason games. Come back soon, my friend. We miss you.
Did Francis do well going hard in this segment?
Francois?
Now I'm French.
You're done.
Francois was okay.
You're done. Anthony Davis.